I would also like to thank AGHS, the Legal Aid Cell, for organizing this important program. I think the Afghan refugee problem is as old as the Afghan war. And we know that Afghans did not start the war in 1980. It was the Soviet Union that sent its army in Afghanistan, and this is how the war started. And Afghan people had nothing to do with it. They had not attacked anyone, or they had not invited anyone for war. But in any case, the US and Western countries stood with the resistance. But unfortunately, in the process, they also tried to Vietnamize Afghanistan and to bleed it to defeat the Soviet Union, or to break the Soviet Union. They succeeded in that. But what was the cost for the Afghan people? That is a real question. I mean, for the last more than 4 decades, Afghans have been dominated by 3 Ds: death, destruction, and displacement. Afghan state has collapsed more than once, and Afghans are now without any state protection. So the tragedy of Afghans continue, and as we know, when they came in this country, initially they were welcomed, they were looked after, and they developed very good relation with the people of Pakistan. I think it's a very important thing to remember that the governments might have changed their policies or have adopted bad policies, but as far as the people were concerned, they remained good friends, on both sides, Pakistanis and Afghans. But unfortunately, there was no law for refugees. You see, Pakistan did not have any legislation on refugees. And Pakistan is also not signatory to international conventions, neither Geneva Convention 1951 or 1967 protocol. So I don't think it was an omission. I think it was state policy, and even the Western countries also did not raise any objection on this, because they had to fight a war. And there's a very interesting book. I don't know if anyone of you have seen that book. Dr. Fazal Rahim Marwat, a former teacher in Peshawar University, wrote a book in 2005. It is titled From Mahajir to Mujahid. Mahajir is refugee, Mujahid is holy warriors. So these refugees were turned into holy warriors. And that's how things developed for decades. So they were dealt by expediencies of policies. I mean, if the government of Pakistan had good relations with an Afghan government, so the refugees were all right, and there were organized efforts for repatriation. But if the relations were bad, the refugees were used as beads of pressure in Kabul, by sending them in a big way, as they were sent recently. This is very unfortunate, as Ahmed was saying, to sort of penalize, to sort of work against a whole people. They say there was terrorism here. Afghans were involved in terrorism. I don't think they really in mass got involved in terrorism. I mean, there may be individuals who might have adopted that path of crime, but I don't think as a whole Afghans were involved in terrorism, because they lived here, their children are here. Why would they endanger their own children who are living here for decades? So I believe, unfortunately, this Afghan war and these refugees have become pawns in the game played by great powers. And as I understand, I mean, sending them as they were sent recently will not serve any purpose. It will, nobody will benefit by it. I mean, all the countries of the region will suffer the consequences which will come out of this forced eviction of refugees that took place recently. So because, for example, when they have gone there, for example, more than 500,000 people from here and also from Iran and other countries, what will they do? There are no jobs, no food, no state support. State is not there even in proper shape. There is no state system. So what will happen? There is only one job available, one path available: to get recruited in Al-Qaeda, to get recruited in Daesh, to get recruited in TTP, which means more violence for this region, greater instability. And every country will suffer. I mean, Pakistan, Iran, and all the Central Asian countries. So this is very unfortunate. I mean, we are not against the repatriation. Of course, as we know, every big refugee problem has its solution has three components. The first and foremost is repatriation. But repatriation has to be voluntary, dignified, according to international law. That's the first thing, and nobody would oppose that. But in that, there should be three parties: Pakistan, Afghanistan, UNHCR, international community. The second component of the solution is relocation. Those of the refugees who can't go back for any reason, they are to be relocated to a third country. And the third component is local absorption. In this case, Pakistan has been refusing any absorption. Although here we have a law in Pakistan according to which a good number of Afghan refugees are eligible to take Pakistani citizenship. But Pakistani government has been denying it. I mean, the previous Prime Minister Imran Khan had declared that the government will be giving them citizenship, but unfortunately it was not implemented. So the problem will not be solved without resorting to these three components and according to international law, humanitarian laws. But the recent move to throw them out was in violation of all international laws and humanitarian laws. As far as militancy is concerned, I don't think it is because of refugees. It's because of, as I said, big power games. When we speak about non-state actors, actually there are no non-state actors. Every non-state actor has got a state behind it. How can they operate in the way they have been operating? And I believe because in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa we are experiencing a new wave of terrorism. But I don't think it's because of the refugees. It's because a new Cold War has started. Previously it was the Soviet Union and the West. This time it's China, Russia, Iran on the one side, UK, US, and their allies on the other hand. So unfortunately, Afghans have a glorious history, but a very cruel geography. And they're victims of this strategic geography. So unfortunately, a new round is starting. And Pashtuns, as Ahmed was very kindly referring to them to be bright people, but unfortunately they have suffered a lot. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, when we say IDPs, this abbreviation, for us, it is not internally displaced persons. For us, it is intentionally displaced Pashtuns. As we have seen, 2 million Pashtuns were displaced from FATA, a war which they had not started and they had nothing to do. So these are humanitarian problems, and I think they should be considered as humanitarian problems and treated as humanitarian problems. So I believe today's discussion, I hope it will, in the end, because we have eminent political leaders here, it will throw up some suggestions, recommendations for the solution of this problem. Thank you very much.
आपकी खबर, आपकी आवाज़, voicepkdotnet